The state funeral will be held at Westminster Abbey and will be considered a day of national mourning, with a 2-minute period of silence to be observed across the nation at midday. After the funeral, the Queen will be buried at Windsor Castle next to her late husband, Prince Philip, and her father, King George VI. So in this video, we are going to discuss what happened when Queen Elizabeth died. So the video is going to be amazing, so make sure to stick till the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Thursday marked the end of nearly a century of Queen Elizabeth II's life and rule as a monarch, and the United Kingdom is very much mourning her passing. They may be heartened to know the late royal had a detailed plan in place for what happens after the Queen dies though, and it's been in the works for years. These plans would typically be a strictly guarded secret, but between The Guardian Sam Knight doing a huge amount of original reporting on the matter and Politico obtaining official documents drawn up by the Cabinet Office in 2021, we have a pretty good idea of what to expect in the 10 days between Queen Elizabeth II's death and her funeral. The day the Queen dies, aka D-Day. The protocol is well known at this point. Her Majesty's private secretary will convey the news to the Prime Minister, aka Liz Truss, via the code words, "London Bridge is down." Honestly though, this phrase is so well known now that it has doubtless been changed. Politico reports that there is a call script and ministers will be told, upon receiving the news, that discretion is required. They'll also get an email from the Cabinet Secretary that reads, "Dear colleagues, it is with sadness that I write to inform you of the death of Her Majesty the Queen." Flags will then be lowered to half-mast, preferably within 10 minutes. Amid all this, The Guardian reports that a footman in mourning clothes will pin a notice to the gates of Buckingham Palace, while Politico reports that on top of the royal family's website, changing to a black screen with the same notice, retweets from government social accounts, which will show a black banner, will be banned. The start of 9 days of ceremonies. Since the Queen died in Balmoral, there are several Scottish traditions and rituals to observe. Her body will first be taken to the palace at Holyrood House in Edinburgh, and from there, the coffin will be taken up the Royal Mile to St. Giles's Cathedral for a church service before being put on board the royal train at Edinburgh's Waverley Station bound for London. Crowds are expected to gather along the route, at level crossings and on station platforms. Eventually, the Queen's body will return to Buckingham Palace, where a military guard of honor will stand next to the coffin in the throne room. 4 days after her death, the coffin will move to Westminster Hall to lie in state for another 4 days. Her funeral, exactly 9 days after her death, will be a huge occasion with dignitaries, mourners, pageantry, and large crowds of up to 1 million people anticipated as the coffin makes its way through London past historical landmarks, with military salutes from Hyde Park. Her funeral, I imagine, will be on a larger scale than Prince Philip, that is clear. And there will be public demand. It will obviously be a major world media and diplomatic event. Heads of state from all over the world will be coming, and it will be a big deal, said Professor Blick. A muffled Big Ben will chime in somber tones, and the coffin will arrive at Westminster Abbey at exactly 11 a.m. After the service, the coffin will leave the Abbey and be put on a gun carriage, the same one that was used at the funeral of the Queen's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, and pulled by more than 100 junior sailors from the Royal Navy, a tradition that goes back to the funeral of Queen Victoria in 1901. The gun carriage will make its way through London, past throngs of mourners, to Hyde Park Corner, where the coffin will be transferred to a car and driven to Windsor Castle, where British sovereigns are laid to rest. The timing for a coronation is not prescribed, but for instance, Queen Elizabeth II succeeded to the throne in 1952, and the coronation was the next year, said the Constitution Society's Professor Andrew Blick. Charles will immediately be king. King Charles' coronation will happen months, even up to a year, after the Queen dies, but he'll be the king the second she passes. According to The Guardian, Charles' siblings will kiss his hands, and Politico reports he'll give an address to the nation at 6 p.m. There will also be an immediate service of remembrance, planned to appear spontaneous, at St. Paul's Cathedral, which will be attended by the Prime Minister. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more interesting videos. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.